welcome. We are live here in Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. This is Tier 3. So we do have Umbra Ghost and we do have a Kick Sauber of Theo Townland, who is fighting for the championship here for this sprint race in Monza. So around Parabolica we go, on board with Theo in the Kick Sauber. He will take us through our first lap, and he's second in the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship, so some vital points will be needed in this double dose of Monza here this morning. So down in towards Rettifilo we go through turn 1 and 2, and then back onto the throttle. He'll burn that battery just to get back up to speed as we go around turn 3 and down towards Roggia. I just need to jump into a party. I don't want to annoy all the drivers. Remember, we will have to jump straight from Tier 3 to Tier 2 as soon as the race is finished. So on board with Theo, he's coming around the Lesmo corner, so around turn 4 and 5, the double Lesmos, down through Seraglio at turn 6. This is where the DRS will kick in and we'll be able to get some overtakes here this morning. So Jack Carter is out on the mediums, everybody else out on the softs. Down in towards Ascari through here, nice and tight to the apex for Theo. Remember, this is sprint qualifying, only 12 minutes, and then we go into the Grand Prix. So as we head in towards Parabolica, the Sauber driver will hit that brake pedal, shoot to the right hand side, back on a little bit wide as he comes up towards the start finish line. That was a little bit sluggish through Parabolica, but it's a decent lap. 1:19.5 for Theo. Umbra Ghost in the Alpine will be next to hit the line, and the Alpine driver goes P2, 1:19.9 on the soft compound tyres. A couple more drivers coming through. That is Kevin Gamer that is backed out, coming through Ascari. Nimblecat is on a outlap. And then we do have, I think it is a Red Bull just coming up towards the line. I can't find who that is. I don't actually know who that is. Is it Vincenzo? It is. Vincenzo just starting his flying lap. And I think that is a Mercedes of Jack Carter, and he's invalidated it. So we'll go on board with Mad Riot, the two Williams drivers, father and son, as we head in towards Ascari. It will be son first and then father behind. Through Ascari we go, on board with the Williams driver. Oh, and he goes a little bit wide out the exit. And in towards Parabolica we go for the Williams, who have got some decent points on the board in the Constructors fight recently. Remember, there is 7 rounds remaining, including this one, 6 after this, as we go up towards the start finish line. Mad Riot will set his lap. It will be a 1:20.6. He won't be happy with that, and his dad will come through a 1:28, both on the medium compound tyres. And then Doug in the Alpine comes through a 1:20.9. Jack Carter is going again with that purple sector 1, but we ride on board with Nimblecat as he comes out of the double Lesmos down towards Seraglio, where that DRS will kick in. As we go through Seraglio down towards Ascari through turn 12 and 13. And then he just hugs the apex to the left hand side, absolutely bombs it through there, full throttle down towards Parabolica. And the Scuderia Ferrari is on for a decent lap here. He's had an awful time of late. He crashed out in Spa. That was down to me, actually. He crashed out in Netherlands, so he really needs a break here, and he goes P6 on the mediums with a 1:20.4. Bulldog in the Mercedes AMG Petronas, and then we've got the other Scuderia of Formula Rai. Through the double Lesmos, comes a little bit short there as he came through turn 4 and then over the chicane at turn 5. Back onto the throttle, DRS kicks in, that rear wing wide open, and then on to that battery as we head in towards Ascari for Formula Rai. So to the left hand side, you have to really swing it in as you come through there, and then try and just ease off the throttle as you go through the middle of Ascari, back onto the brake, onto the throttle, and then through towards Parabolica. And Formula Rai doing a great job at keeping this pretty crisp at the moment. A little bit shaky through the Lesmos, but other than that, it's been a pretty decent lap. He rides the grass there as he comes up towards the line, and Formula Rai will go fastest here in the sprint qualifying, a 1:19.3 from the Scarlet Ferrari at the home of the Ferrari. Umbra Ghost in the Alpine went P2, a 1:19.4, but it's Formula Rai that takes provisional pole. What about Icy in that Aston Martin? What can he do? He's also out on the medium compound tyres. Doug will not participate any further. That is it. The Alpine driver is out in P10 with a 120.9. So if anybody else sets a lap, Doug will be quite down the pecking order here with these 16 drivers on track for the sprint race. So out of Ascari for Icy, down towards Parabolica we go. So out of turn 9 and 10 and into the pit lane for Icy. So Super Skills just coming through Roger and down towards Curva de Lesmos at turn 4 and 5. And he will come through the second of the Lesmos chicanes. Oh, and he was a little bit hesitant there. He was a little bit hesitant as he tried to go in. The DRS is in now. The battery's on. He's just trying to build up to speed, but he doesn't want to use too much of that battery with that DRS open, as he's already got that extra bit of boost. And again, he's a little bit reluctant to just shoot into Ascari, but we know Super Skills has got phenomenal pace when he's on form, and when he gets into the race, his racecraft is second to none. So down towards Parabolica at turn 9 for Super Skills, putting in a super lap here in this sprint qualifying with just under 4 minutes to go. Out of turn 10, down towards the line, and Super Skills will go a 120.3, and it's up to P6. And in front of his Red Bull teammate. Bulldog is on another lap. Kevin Gamer in that Racing Bull. The Visa Cash Out Racing Bull. He's used a lot of his battery and he's only just going through Seraglio with that DRS enabled. Down towards Ascari. And it's a purple Sector 2 for Kevin Gamer on their mediums. Formula Right says it's a bad lap even though he's on provisional pole. So down towards Parabolica at turn 9 for the Racing Bull. So round turn 10, and Kevin Gamer goes up to P12. Not bad at all. Jack Carter is now back out on the softs. Says he's still on the mediums, but he is on the softs. And Icy is out on the mediums. That's a strange one. This must be messed up, because on the tyres there it's saying that Icy's out on the softs and Jack Carter's out on the mediums, but it's actually the opposite way around. And I can't see Icy coming out to do a lap on the mediums in sprint qualifying with 2.5 minutes to go. Surely not. Surely he just goes for the softs and tries to get a lap in. Hasbraz, yeah, Hasbraz, you were supposed to be racing, mate. So you can join. I will invite you. Just let me know when you need an invite. Yeah, no worries, that's absolutely fine, mate. You still got the sprint race, the feature qualifying and the feature race to go, so whenever you're ready, man. So, I see it coming to the line. What about Jack Carter? Just coming down Seraglio towards Ascari for the Mercedes man. His teammate currently in P6. 1.5 minutes to go here in this qualifying session. Yeah, I'll send you an invite, mate. You should be on there. You might need to add me again or delete and re-add me. Oh, there you are. Come on. Jabba. So, Jack Carter to the line. Jack Carter goes P5. And in front of his Red Bull teammate, Super Skills will participate no further with a minute to go. Remember to get your set up on Jabba. Kevin Gamer in P14. Cinders in P15. Starts his final lap in that McLaren. And NDMV in the Aston Martin, a 1:19.1, takes provisional pole here in the sprint race for Monza. Icy in the Aston Martin coming out of Ascari. Will this be the lap that he was waiting for? Just trying to read the comments. My comments are coming up there, but I've got something blocking it. I will try and just move that so I can see the comments. Oh, 1 minute. Sorry. Oh my, that's not going to work. There we go. So, Icy went up to P14. What about Cinders in the McLaren? We'll try and get on board with some of the front runners. Umbra Ghost is 3/10 down in the Alpine. The Mercedes of Jack Carter is way down, but he has Umbra Ghost catching up as he moves over to the right-hand side. Umbra Ghost goes through. The checkered flag has waved. Formula Rai can do no more. Theo Tarnland is in P2. NDMV is in P3. The Mercedes of Jack Carter. Umbra Ghost in P4 will go into the pit lane. He's not going to improve. What about Icy? And he's not improving either. The Aston Martin of NDMV is on his way into the pit lane of Podge Racing. The championship leader has invalidated his lap. Vicious Vicar will do no more. Icy's on an in-lap. That is Theo Tarnland on an in-lap. And I think that will be it. NDMV in the Aston Martin will take pole position for the Monza sprint race. Incredible. The man from Vietnam takes pole position in the Aramco Aston Martin. His teammate down in P15. But let me just put the stats in. I need to quickly put the stats in for that qualifying session. Right. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, God damn it. Not the time I wanted, Icy. No, Nimble's cooking, mate. P7. Let's go, Nimble. I'm so hoping Nimble has a good race. A fantastic human being, a great driver, very experienced. Race IQ is phenomenal. Can battle side by side with the best. Yeah, great drive from him. P7 in the sprint race. And then his teammate, Formula Rai, in P3 as well. Exactly the same. So, but Theo out-qualifying Podge both of the drivers from Sweden. And they're battling for the championship. So, NDMV takes pole position here for the Monza sprint race. It will be Theo Tarnland that takes P2 and will start on the front row of this grid. Formula Rai on the second row in P3 and Umbra Ghost in P4. On the third row of the grid, it's the championship leader of Podge and the McLaren in P5 and Jack Carter in the Mercedes in P6. On the fourth row of the grid, it's Nimblecat and the Ferrari in P7 and Mad Riot in the Williams in P8. And on the fifth row of the grid, it's Bulldog in the Mercedes and Vicious Vicar in the Williams in P10. Then comes Super Skills in 11, Vincenzo in 12, Cinders in P13, Doug in P14, Icy in P15, Kevin Gamer in P16, and Jabba joins the grid to complete your 17 drivers. Here we go, it's race time. So we have a formation lap and then we'll go racing. I'm hoping that it's pretty clean off the start. Oh, NDMV spun it on the formation lap. Oh, and he's on the grid with cold tyres. That is awful for him. That is really, really awful. So NDMV starting on the hards as well. So he's got pole position in the sprint. He's starting on the hard compound tyres, and they're going to be freezing cold. And then he's got Theo, Formula I, Umbra Ghost, and Podge, his championship rival Theo, all on mediums behind with heated tyres. This is not going to be a good start for NDMV. This is actually really bad for him. So, this is going to be absolutely epic. Need to get Twitch up. This is where I clip everything. Sorry guys, my bloody hay fever annoys me. So they're all lining up. Arno Camp, you can join just through the Discord link, mate. So they all line up. This is it. We are about to go racing for the sprint race for the first time here in Monza. This is it for round 13 for the sprint race here in Tier 3, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it is lights out and away we go. Theo got an amazing start. NDMV, as we said, dropping down on them cold hard tyres. Here comes Formula I, down in towards Rettifilo. As the old bottleneck, the McLaren goes off the track. That is Podge, the championship leader, that goes off the track into Rettifilo. There's a bit of carnage behind as the Alpines collide. Podge picks up a 3-second time penalty. Umbra Ghost is down 7 places to P11. And that is Podge down 4 in the McLaren with a time penalty as Mad Riot goes through. Super Skills just going wheel to wheel with Umbra Ghost, but Umbra Ghost in the Alpine goes through, and the Red Bull smashes into the back of him. Umbra Ghost is now down to P16, and this is quite incredible. Theo, who is battling for the championship, is now your race leader at the start of this sprint race. NDMV is down to P2, but he's got Formula I all over the back of him, who goes to the left, tries to get the move done down into a Sky, but he'll have to be patient. Bulldog is in front of his teammate in up 5 places in that AMG, and Jack Carter is just behind him in P5. So this is where we go battling, and that is Bulldog that goes wheel to wheel with Formula I going in towards Parabolica, and up the inside goes Bulldog with a phenomenal overtake. Here comes Jack Carter, and he's literally pushing the Ferrari through as Vincenzo picks up the pieces and says thank you very much, and takes P4 out of the hands of the battling drivers. Nimblecat watching on as his teammate is all caught up in the action. Down in towards Rettifilo again, goes a little bit wide. Jack Carter gets a good exit. Jabber is through on his teammate Kevin Gamer, the 2 Racing Bulls, into Rettifilo. Podge and Mad Riot. Here comes Jack Carter, Formula I. Vincenzo is 8 tenths behind Bulldog around Curva Grande, and down towards Roger we go. Bulldog goes deep, rides the apex and loses the time to NDMV, who is now 1.3 behind Theo Tarnland, the Swedish driver who leads. What about Super Skills? He goes around the outside of Podge. Has Podge got damage through the double Lesmo? Super Skills is through, and the championship leader is down to P10. And now here comes Vicious Vicar in the Williams. Formula I is round on the other Red Bull as they go in towards Ascari, and Vincenzo has to just back out, and now he's got Jack Carter all over his rear wing as they come out of turn 8 down towards Parabolica at turn 9, and the Mercedes makes the move and up to P5 for the Danish driver of Jack Carter. That is Vincenzo coming right back at him, and Cinders is through. Podge, oh, this is an awful sprint race for Podge. Remember, points go down to the top 10. Jabba is through. Podge is into the pit lane, and Buck is into the podium places. Remember, only 9 laps here in Monza for this sprint race, and it is all unfolding. Remember, Theo has started on the mediums, so as they go further into this race, it means that NDMV will get a little bit quicker And that is Jack Carter that is through on Vincenzo again. What about super skills on Mad Riot? Come on, Cinders, says Bakey Gaming. He's still in with a chance. Here comes Jabba on Doug. The Racing Bull trying to find his rhythm and get up towards the well-accomplished Doug in the Alpine. And that is Formula I that takes the podium position away from Bulldog. And he's going to go for the double overtake on the inside of NDMV. The Aston Martin is off the track and he clatters into the Mercedes through Ascari. Look at this from Jack Carter. He weaves to the right, comes to the left, shoots in the middle of them and into the podium place. That was absolutely crazy. That was brilliant from Jack Carter and Formula I. That was brilliant. So Vincenzo is through on Bulldog as we come up towards... that is NDMV that is back through. Oh, and he cuts in too soon and hits Jack Carter in the Mercedes. The Ferrari of Formula I is up to P2. He's trying to hold them on in towards Retafilo. NDMV getting swallowed up a little bit on them hard compounds. Jack Carter is now back down to P4. Vincenzo in P5. Bulldog in P6. But we do not know who's going to finish on the top three steps here as NDMV goes deep, cuts the corner, and did he gain an advantage? Probably, so he would have got a time penalty for that. This is brilliant. And that is Bulldog that goes a little bit wide into the first of the Lesmos at turn 4. Jack Carter picks up a 3-second time penalty. Wow. Thank you to everybody tuning in. This is what it's all about. The first dose of Monza this morning. Oh, the Ferrari's gone! Oh my God, Formula I is into the wall from P2 in this sprint race. Formula I is down to P7. And does he have wing damage? He did hit the wall. But unbelievably, he has escaped without any... No, he's got a missing end plate. Oh, Formula I from P2. The Tifosi are not happy. Oh, and he's into the pit lane. So that leaves Theo Townland 3.8 clear of NDMV. Jack Carter is in P3, but he's got a time penalty. That means Vincenzo is on the podiums at the moment. MSCF1 Cinders is through on Jabba and up to P11. What's going on, Paul? How are you doing? Umbra Ghost in P13. And Umbra Ghost coming down in towards Roger. Later on the brakes, nearly smashes into the rear of Jabba. Wow. And that is Jack Carter, remember, in the podiums. Lap 5 of 9 in this sprint race. Smokey. We race at 10 AM, 12:30 PM usually if the race isn't on, and 7 PM. And you can just vote to reserve and stuff like that. No, he didn't wake up late, B, right. He was just in P2, but spun it out of Ascari. So that is Mad Riot that is through on Bulldog. The Williams and the Mercedes go wheel to wheel, side by side, nothing to separate them. Remember, Mad Riot on the hards, but here comes Super Skills. They're going to go 3 wide in towards Retafilo. The Red Bull pulls out, the Mercedes goes around the outside, and then he cuts the chicane, gets a 10-second time penalty, and Mad Riot forcing that mistake, and now Bulldog will pay the price and drop right down this grid. And Mad Riot up the inside of Curva Grande, down towards Roger, and they do go side by side once again. The Mercedes goes deep and then he comes back on him and he does make a mistake, and now Super Skills comes through up the inside in towards the Lesmos, and so does Vicious Vicar as well. Bulldog losing multiple places with that 10-second time penalty. Vicious Vicar and Mad Riot in the Williams both pull through. Nimble Cat, oh no, Nimble Cat's out, oh my God, Nimble Cat into Ascari. Nimble Cat in the Scuderia, the Tifosi lay down the flags, the white flag is out. And they have surrendered here in Monza. Unbelievable. No safety car, it's a sprint race, only 2 laps left. Vincenzo is up into the podium places. Vincenzo into P3. Jack Carter down to P4. NDMV's in P2, but he's got a time penalty, remember, and he's trying to clear that time penalty. Commentators curse again. I can't believe we went on board with that as it happened. And Theo leads by 2.4 seconds. So NDMV is speeding up a little bit on them hard compound tyres. Jack Carter is right on his tail. And Super Skill, I cannot believe the 2 Ferraris who were in amazing positions are out of this Grand Prix. Nimbocat will be kicking himself. Umbra goes to his penalty free, might pick up a few places here. So DMB, Super Skills in at P6. Mad Riot picked him a 3-second time penalty as well. And at the moment, Vincenzo would finish in P3, but he's got Jack Carter, the Danishman, chasing him down as we go in towards Ascari. In towards turn 7 and 8, right to the apex. And then back out onto the throttle, and the Mercedes into the slipstream of the Red Bull in front. And Vincenzo just trying to hold on as we go in towards Parabolica. The Red Bull driver, as we head on to lap 8, will try to defend this position, but he has to take into consideration that he doesn't have a time penalty, so he doesn't need to push this hard. Here comes Vincenzo on Jack Carter. Jack Carter and the Mercedes will move on through and up to P3. Mercedes to Red Bull, and that is Jabba that is through on the other Mercedes down towards turn 1 at Rettifilo, but the Mercedes will have that DRS, and Bulldog will come back through wheel to wheel with the Racing Bull. In towards Rettifilo, who will go later on the brakes. It will be the Mercedes, and he goes off the track. And that is how easy this circuit can catch you out. Bulldog drops down again. Thank you for the likes on TikTok. So NDMV is only a second behind Theo now. What a strategy this might be. Let's have a look. What are the tyres saying? So their medium tyres of Tojo's are on 60%, and the hards are on 35 on average, 35. So yeah, NDMV is way quicker than Theo at the moment. Theo is 6 tenths clear. This is for the lead of the Grand Prix. But I think Theo needs to take into consideration the fact that NDMV has a time penalty here. Here comes the Vietnamese driver into the slipstream, moves on through on the Swedishman, and NDMV on the very last lap of this sprint race takes the lead. The Aston Martin through on the Sauber. Theo will just have to stay with him. He's got a 3-second time penalty. That is Doug on Vicious Vicar, and the Alpine is through on the Williams in towards Rettifilo at turn 1. And the Alpine is up to P7. Remember, Vicious Vicar doesn't have a time penalty, so he will pick up a few extra positions as Super Skills chases down Mad Riot. If you are looking for a sim racing setup, you can get it from the link in the chat. So Theo is already a second behind NDMV as they come out of the double Lesmos. He's going to lose that DRS, the Sauber driver, but he will gain it back. Surely he's not going to lose 3 seconds now as Vicious Vicar tries to stay with Doug. And what an exciting sprint race. Here comes Vicious Vicar on Doug to the left hand side through Seraglio down towards Ascari, and the Williams driver is back through, and that is Super Skills and Mad Riot wheel to wheel in towards Ascari, and Super Skills backs out. Mad Riot is through, but remember, the Red Bull driver doesn't have any penalties, so he should pick up some pieces. Jabba now picks up a 3-second time penalty, but it is NDMV that crosses the line first, but it's Theo that wins the sprint here in Monza. Jack Carter, Vincenzo takes the podium in P3, and Super Skills will take P5. Some huge points on the board for the Red Bulls and the Williams. Doug should pick up a place or two, and oh no, it was Vicious Vicar, sorry, who went up to P6. Wow, that was a very, very good race. Front wing damage for Tojo, front wing damage for Super Skills, Vicious Vicar, Mad G, Podge, Kevin Gamer, and Nimblecat, obviously. I just need to upload some of these. Yeah, it tells me even the slightest of front wing damage. Oh, he left overtake on into Ascari. So that is it. Theo wins the sprint race. NDMV in P2, Vincenzo in P3, Jack Carter in P4. Sorry guys, I need to get these stats down 1 second. So, Todd Joe, NDMV, Vincenzo, Jack Carter. That is Super Skills. Shvika, Doug Greek, Gold Cinders, Racing Bull in P11. That is Jabba. Then by me back pods, Kevin Gamer, the Mercedes of Bulldog. And then IC and Nimbuka, that's fine. Right, we've got all the stats. Oh, it's chucking it down. It's chucking it down in qualifying. Oh, it's not connected to my TikTok. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's connected to a different TikTok. 1 second, sorry. Oh, that's annoying. Let me just log into this. There we go. Right. How do I disconnect that now? That's annoying. Connections. Sorry guys, 1 second. It's annoying that I've got to post that one to that team one. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Oh, thanks. Thanks for the likes and the gift. Some likes and gifts on TikTok from the family. So it is absolutely chucking it down here in Monza. And some of the drivers are out on intermediates, some are out on wets. Formula I goes fastest on the wets with a 1:32.4. So, and Umbra comes through, goes even quicker on the wets, and Bulldog on the intermediates with a 1:33.1. Then Mad Riot on the intermediates. This looks like full wet conditions, but some drivers are trying the intermediates. Thank you for the gifts. So, Theo on the intermediates went fastest. A 1:32.0 on the intermediates for the championship contender. And the Swedishman takes provisional pole for the feature race. Hodge goes P6, Vincenzo into P7, NDMV in the P8. Kels Bean says he'd go softs. Yeah, same. I'm not sure why I've got 2 copies of the Nimble Crash. Morning, Don Dedge. How we doing? Yeah, that's absolutely right. So Tojo can gain massive points on points, especially after that sprint as well. He already gained 10 points. So very interesting. You are absolutely spot on. So Cinders and Kevin Gamer. Kevin Gamer is on an outlap. Cinders still in the pit lane. So absolutely chucking it down here in Monza. Theo goes even quicker, a 1:30.8. That's a second quicker than Umbra goes. That is crazy. So Theo is on pole position for the feature race at the moment with 10 minutes of this qualifying session remaining. Then Umbra Ghost and Jabba. I know. Yeah, exactly, Kels. So, Vicious Vicar up to P6. Podge is Doug in the Alpine, just coming through on the wet compounds. Is he going to be able to go any quicker? He does, up to P7 for Doug. And then somebody else came through right behind him. That was Nimblecat up to P2. Nimblecat in the Ferrari is into P2. Okay, so Nimble out to P2, Mad Riot in P3, Doug in P4, Jack Carter, Doug in P9, Jack Carter in P11. What about Formula Right? He's half a second up, is Formula Right. So down towards Ascari. And he's kept it valid. This is a nice lap in the wheel, and he's just holding on to the rears through turn 8 down towards Curva Parabolica at turn 9. So just full throttle through here. I don't need to put. So Formula Right goes fastest, a 1:30.7. Mad Right MP4. Icy's saying they're running a dry setup. Ryan is on fire, says Udit. The race will be dry. Brilliant. So we're just having one wet qualifying. I like that. I actually like that. Thank you for all the gifts on TikTok, but I don't need to. So Jack Carter, the man from Denmark in the Mercedes, has gone provisional pole with 7 minutes to go. Is the track starting to dry up? Exactly, Don Dedge. Track evolution. The track's starting to dry up. You're creating that dry line. The cars are getting quicker and quicker. This might well go down to the wire in terms of who can get out last, who can get that lap in right near the end and get the driest, cleanest, fastest lap to take pole position here in Monza. We shall see. But at the moment it is Jack Carter that takes provisional pole. Formula Right in P2, Theo Tandland in P3, Nimblecat in P4, Mad Riot in P5. Exactly, Pelly back, a dry line now. Vincenzo will start his flying lap. Super Skills is already on the lap as he comes in towards Ascari at turn 7 and 8. NDMV going out on inters now. Everybody's out on inters now. Super Skills down towards Parabolica. But it's not just about coming out on inters and setting the lap. You need to make sure that you keep it clean. Make no mistakes. You know, one slight hiccup. But these drivers would have overfueled as well. So they'll start to lose fuel as the laps go on. As we come to the end of qualifying. So Super Skills up towards the line in the Red Bull. And he goes P2. Provisional front row for Super Skills. Jabba currently in P8. He will be next in that Racing Bull. And this looks very fast. And Jabba takes P2 away from Super Skills. But still, Jack Carter is on pole position. NDMV is nearly a second up, which he should be after that 1:34. Into the double Lesmos. He's gone wide over the curve and invalidated it. That is what I'm talking about. You make a mistake and it is costly. NDMV, the man from Vietnam, has invalidated as he goes in towards Ascari. And Vincenzo in the Red Bull is nearly a second up as he heads towards Parabolica. So around turn 9 and 10. Out of turn 10 down towards the line. And Vincenzo goes P6. Cinders and Kevin Gamer yet to set a lap time. Kevin Gamer is on an out lap. Oh, and he nearly spins it. He's onto the grass. Oh, let go of the throttle, Kev. Let go of the throttle. Jabba in the Racing Bull in B2. Yellow flags are waving. That's a Ferrari. That is a Ferrari of Nimble, I think, that made a mistake into... Oh, he's onto the grass as well. He made a mistake in towards Retafila. In it, Formula Ride. Jabba. Jabba is in P2. Jack Carter back on an outlap. Theo Tarnland in towards turn 7 and 8 out of Ascari. And the man that won the sprint race with 4 minutes remaining as we go towards Parabolica at turn 9. And he's into the pit lane, so that is it. Head back out at the last minute. Nimblecat has got a little bit of traffic in front of him. You can see that dirty air just compromising that Ferrari car, but he gets a huge tow from the Aston Martin down towards Parabolica. That either helped Nimble, and he's trying to hold on. He's trying to get his foot down, but he's struggling without losing the car. But this is quick. Nimblecat to the line. Nimble takes P4. What a qualifying session this is. We don't know which way it's going to go. And the Williams of Mad Riot through Ascari. Him and his father both racing in that Williams team. As we swoop on down towards Parabolica once more. And Mad Riot knows he's got it in the tank. He's a former world champion. And then to the start finish line, and Mad Riot goes P2 just behind provisional pole. A brilliant lap. Kevin Gamer is off the track again and invalidated as he tries to get out of the way for Cinders on an outlap. Icy in the Aston Martin. It's the lower job off. Vicious Vicar in the Williams on the intermediates. Doug is still out on the wets, you know. That's either an amazing decision or a really bad one. Oh, he's on a lap and the Sauber's not seen him. The Sauber has not seen him at all. Oh, no. Hopefully that did not hinder him, but that was Theo Tarnland. And he will be hitting his helmet there, Theo Tarnland. He will know that he might have messed up. It's so hard when you're on your way out of the pit lane. Nimblecat moving out the way. Mad Riot in P2. This is where the carnage starts. Formula Rise on a lap. Vicious Vicar in that Williams coming out of Parabolica. Down towards the start finish line. P10. Yeah, I hope you're having a good holiday, Ben. Shame we're not going to see you today. Hopefully they don't take too many points off you in the championship. So Doug down in towards Ascari. He is improving. Jack Carter's gone fastest. 1:28, 888. 888 for Jack Carter. And he's gambled on the intermediates. Doug in the Alpine coming out of Ascari, slightly up, but should he have gone for the intermediates? I think so. Podge has also stayed out on the wets, and the man who is leading the championship is currently in P13 and has not used a set of intermediates here. And the checkered flag will be waved very shortly. Mad Riot has retired. Podge goes up to P9. And we will try and get on board as the checkered flag is about to come out. Kevin Gamer in the Racing Bull. And he's going to get to the line. 25 seconds to go. And that is Formula Rai that goes up to P2. NDMV goes P3. That will be it for him. He will not be able to improve from that position. Then we've got a couple more drivers. That is Super Skills that will just hit the line. He will be pretty much the final driver to come through. And Vincenzo backs out of the line. And he'll wait, yeah, for the checkered flag. So he doesn't have to go round again. Because he knew he weren't improving. Vincenzo's into the pit lane. So is Icy. The checkered flag has waved. The Mercedes is also going into the pits. That is Jack Carter. MSC F1 Cinders. Icy has retired on track. So Cinders will come to the line. Is he going to improve? He does. Goes up to P14. So he does find a little bit extra. Here comes Umbra Ghost. The Alpine driver goes P2. What a lap. Umbra Ghost is on the provisional front row. Jabba goes P4. The other Alpine has invalidated it. That is Doug. And then we have a kick Sauber of Theo Tarnland. Is he going to take pole position? He won the sprint race. Here he comes down to the line. The Swedishman will take P8. That was not a good lap. Nimblecat takes P5. What a lap from Nimblecat. And the Mercedes of Bulldog up to P5 now. Nimble down to P6. Super Skills will be the very final driver to the line. But at the moment it is Jack Carter with, I think, his second pole position of the season. I think he's done it once before. And here comes Super Skills to complete this qualifying session, and he takes P10. Jack Carter has taken pole in Monza. Jack Carter takes pole position for the sprint race. Greek Umbragos takes P2, buy me back in P3, then Jabba in P4. Let me just put this in because some of these names I haven't got in the system. P5 in the Mercedes is Bulldog, then comes Nimblecat, NDMV, Maggi and Vincenzo. In P10 is Super Skills in the Red Bull. Todjo in P11, Podge in P13, Vicker in 13, Doug in 14, Cinders in 15, IT in 16, and Kev Gamer in P17. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get... I've not got pro features on the app, so... so I need to go and pay for it. It's not giving me all the features. There we go. Where's it trying to come out of? I don't even know what account it's trying to come out of. I should just buy it for the whole year. I'll sort it after the race. I need to sort it. I'll sort all that out after the race. But I need to buy the pro version of the app so we can get all the stats this week. I need to promote the league on there as well. Here we go. So it is race time. Sorry guys, I was muted. So there are all the tyres. So we are getting ready for the race start. Remember, powered by Sim Racing Setups. If you want the perfect race setup, check out the link in the Twitch chat. Or just put !SRS. So we all line up, ready to go for round 13 here in Formula 7 racing for the Italian Grand Prix here in Monza, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it is lights out and away we go. Jack Hart did get a good start and he's already in front of Umbra Ghost. Jabber in the Racing Bull is up to P3 and through on Formula Rai as we go down in towards Rettavilo. The Ferrari's collided with the Mercedes and Formula Rai is into the wall going down in towards turn 1. He's off the track. Umbra Ghost is through. Bulldog and Jack Hart, the two Mercedes are in 1-2, but it is absolute carnage behind. As Theo Thailand is already up to P6. Super Skills and Vincenzo is up a position. Jabber is down 6 places. NDMV is down 7. And Formula Rai is down 14 places. That is Nimblecat and the Ferrari that's lost out a few positions as Super Skills and Theo go through. Vincenzo will try and make a move. I have no idea what happened, but NDMV and Formula Rai and Jabber all lost out massively off that race start. Wow. What is going on here? So that is Podge that is through on Mad Riot as we go down in towards Parabolica. The McLaren driver goes up the inside, and that is Jabber that smashes into Mad Riot trying to go up the inside as well. We've got to be patient here, guys. You've got to wait for the perfect opportunity. Here comes Cinders on Jabber, and the McLaren is through on the Racing Bull. NDMV is through on Vicious Vicar, and now through on Jabber as well. And NDMV has got some serious straight line speed in towards turn 1 at Rettafilo, and the McLaren goes deep of Cinders. NDMV, but that is Jabber. Why are you going up the inside of Rettafilo like that? What are we doing here? Jesus. Yeah, Rudy. So, hopefully the race just calms down a little bit. Jack Carter is leading in the Mercedes. Jack Carter 2.5 in front of his teammate of Bulldog. Yeah, so do I, Udy. Umbra Ghost in the Alpine will go into the slipstream of the Mercedes. Then move over to the left. He'll get that rear wing open. That DRS is activated. And Umbra Ghost in the Alpine moves in to P2. That is Mad Riot. That is through. Podge is into the pit lane. The championship leader is into the pits. Did he get damage? But Umbra Ghost is through on Bulldog. Vicious Vicar, Jabber, Icy, Kevin Gamer, NDMV, Podge, Doug and Formula Rai all at the back of the grid for now. That is Bulldog through Curva Grande, up the inside of Umbra, goes down in towards Roger, and Bulldog takes the position back. What a move that is from the AMG driver. So Super Skills is through on Theo Thailand out of Ascari, and Super Skills in the Red Bull is up to P4. NDMV and Icy, the two Aston Martin drivers. NDMV goes around. No, Icy is back through Ascari, pulls in quicker, and Icy, wow, NDMV had to just pull out there, otherwise that was going to be both the Aston Martins into the wall. NDMV with that straight line speed down in towards Parabolica. There is no team orders in the Aston Martin garage as Icy just stays in front. Bulldog on Umbra Ghost is back into P2 with some great overtaking. Mad Riot on Vincenzo. Vincenzo will leave his nose up the inside, rides the apex, smashes into the Williams, and it is getting a bit argy-bargy between Vincenzo and Mad Riot. And the Red Bull of Vincenzo is back through. Mad Riot just pulling out and thinking, what is this? Mad Riot trying it again. It is getting very feisty between these two. What's up? So Vicious Vicar is through on his son of Mad Riot. And now Mad Riot will come back at Vicious Vicar with that DRS enabled. Both on different strategies, but Mad Riot is through on the medium compound tyre. And in towards Rettifilo at turn 1. Icy now 2.5 behind NDMV, who is carrying a lot of straight line speed. Bulldog 5/10 behind Umbra Ghost. And it is all calmed down for a little bit now. And the drivers can finally just regroup and go again. Thank God he did exactly that. Here comes Vicious Vicar on Mad Riot. Icy picks up a 3-second time penalty. Let's have a look at the tyres and what the situation looks like. The tyres do go off quite heavy here. Kevin Gamer on the back of Icy in towards Ascari. So Bulldog is now 1.5 behind Umbra Ghost. Oh, Umbra Ghost is on the hard compound. Bulldog is on the mediums. That is why Super Skills is catching up to him, and that is why Theo is losing so much time. I tell you what, the pace difference between hard to mediums is absolutely outstanding. Here comes Super Skills. Oh, and he's crashed into Bulldog. That could have ended in disaster for the Red Bull driver. They had it coming together, but thankfully they both stayed in the race. And out of Roger down towards the Lesmo chicanes. Carnage again. The strat is cooking, says Casper. He's their engineering Theo. DRS enabled once again for Super Skills, going down towards Ascari. And the Red Bull driver will be a bit patient. And Casper says he is slowing Theo down at the moment. There goes Vincenzo on Nimblecat. And the Red Bull driver moves up to P6. Jabber is through on Mad Riot, and he comes back at him, does Mad Riot, out of Ascari. And the Williams back into P10. Remember, Jabber is on the hards, Mad Riot is on the mediums. If you can do a good stint on the mediums, it might well be worth it. Here comes the Red Bull once again. That DRS is wide open, but look at the straight line speed of Bulldog. Surely he's got to be emptying the tank here. Down in towards Rettifilo. Nimble and Cinders. Mad Riot. All 17 drivers still in the race, but God, some of these need a safety car at some point. I'm pretty sure they will get one, because when the tyres start to go off in Monza and they start to push, you're going to have some drivers lose the car into the wall, especially through Ascari, especially out of the Lesmos. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens in this race. But Mad Riot still chasing down Jabba as we head in towards Seraglio and down the hill towards Ascari. what happened to Formula I. Ben, the real race is 2 o'clock. Formula I crashed out going into turn 1 on the very first lap. So Mad Riot is into the pit lane. Oh no, Mad Riot. So that means that he will, when he pits again for his second stop, if he pits again, but he probably will, he will have to get rid of that 10-second time penalty. Cinders having a really good race here in Monza. I don't want to jinx it, but he was in P7. And he's chasing down Vincenzo. Remember, Nimble's on their mediums as well. To still be in P7 on their mediums at this point in the race is really, really good. So he will be able to try and stay out. And then that is Nimble that just moves over to the right hand side. That DRS enabled. You've got Bulldog, then Theo, then Nimble, and NDMV. All the drivers still on the mediums. Everybody else on the hards. So Super Skills in the Red Bull, still chasing down Bulldog. And remember, Bulldog is on their mediums. And the more he can stay up, the better it is. Will he go into the pit lane though? He won't. He stays out. So, tactical. I think what he's doing, if he's in a good position on the mediums, just stay out until the very last minute. There goes Cinders through on Nimblecat, the Ferrari driver. And he looks a lot slower down the straight than Cinders. Don't know if he had a mistake there. The track is actually, I tell you what, Hodge, Formula I and Doug and everyone have actually caught up quite a bit considering. So it'll be interesting to see where they come out after all this is said and done. Jack Carr is 4 seconds clear. So having a look at the tyres. The hard compounds are around 46%, the mediums are around 60%. That is Vicious Vicar through on Nimblecat, 2 very experienced drivers. Just swapping around as they go in towards the Ascari. And it is the Williams through on the Ferrari. And now he has the McLaren ahead. My phone's not charging and I don't know why. That's strange. So Bulldog is into the pit lane. 10-second time penalty for Kev. And Bulldog comes out just in front of Icy. Kevin Gamer into the pits. Mad Riot, remember, went for the pit stop last lap. Nimblecat stayed out for another one. Nimblecat actually had slight front wing damage and 63% wear on them tyres. So considering the circumstances, Nimblecat's doing a phenomenal job here. So NDMV, we're starting to track up. Don't curse it, I know, yeah. Realistic outcomes will probably be tomorrow, I think. I've been so busy with work. Don Dedge has also been extremely busy sorting out so many incidents. There's so many to go through in realistic as well, it's not even an easy task. Super Skills, Theo and Vicious Vicar are all into the pit lane. No, I know, so I'll try and get around to them ASAP. Well, Don Dedge and then I'll update him and everything. Sometimes Don Dedge will post them and then I don't post them for another day. Bodge on the back of Icy in towards Retafilo. Yellow flags are waving. That is an Alpine. It is Umbra Ghost, is it? It is Umbra Ghost. It looked like he was going really slow and made a mistake, and now he's 10 seconds behind Jack Carter. Icy is through on Theo. Theo goes around the outside of the Aston Martin, and so does Podge. And now the two Swedish drivers are going to have a battle on their hands. Remember, Podge is on 40% old hards. Umbra, no front wing for Umbra. Jack Carter is into the pit lane. Here comes Podge. Podge will do everything to try and slow Theo down for this championship battle. So Podge in the McLaren moves in front of Theo. And that is Jack Carter and Umbra Ghost into the pit lane. Umbra Ghost to get that new front wing on the Alpine. Yeah, he is. So Jack Carter, where will he come out? Vincenzo is now your race leader. Bulldog with the undercut. He's going to come out way in front of Umbra Ghost. What about Jack Carter? No, he's well ahead. And Jabba in P3. Podge and Theo, the McLaren and the Sauber. The McLaren will hold it up the inside. The Sauber and the McLaren go wheel to wheel. And he's pushed him. Oh, they've collided. The two championship rivals. And Theo pushes Podge into the gravel at Retafilo. And the championship rivals come to blows. Is Theo slowing down? No, he's not. Here he comes back at him. They're going to go 3 wide in towards Roger. And the Sauber and the Ferrari collide. That is Formula I and Theo. And he is getting well acquainted with the rest of the grid. Formula I, Mad Riot on them fresher tyres will try and come up the inside of the Lesmos. Podge is being attacked by Vicious Vicar. Podge leaves Vicious Vicar the space. Great racing from them two. And then Umbra Ghost is now starting to come through. Podge in the McLaren on them old hard compound tyres, just holding on for dear life. In towards Ascari. Vincenzo's into the pit lane. Theo finally getting a break, but where does Theo come out now? How is that going to affect his strategy? Oh, really interesting. So Theo into P4, Formula Right on his tail, then Mad Riot, Vicious Vicar, oh! Vicious Vicar hits his son, and the two Williams drivers go around. Was there damage there? Cinders in the McLaren, trying to pick up the pieces. You've got Podge there, who's on a completely different strategy. He's going really long on these hards here, Podge. I think some drivers are committing to the two-stopper, which is a fascinating outcome. Another one. What about NDMV on Doug? Then Jabba on NDMV. The Racing Bull and the Aston Martin go wheel to wheel, and now they catch up to the Alpine. Down towards Ascari. The Racing Bull and the Aston Martin do make it through. And with that strong DRS, all 17 drivers still in this Grand Prix. Kevin Gamer with that time penalty. Here comes Vincenzo on Formula Right. The Red Bull on the median compounds does go through on the Scuderia. And up to P5. And Theo is his next target. Oh, and that is Formula Right that goes off the track. Did he lose the brake pedal again? And Formula Ride 10-second time penalty. Jabba picks up a 3-second. Umbra goes through on Formula Ride. And Jabba with that 3-second, that'll be costly. So Jack Carter looks very comfortable in the lead of this Grand Prix. I don't see any way he loses this from here, because he's been so dominant. Yeah, Dennis, I've noticed Monza just eating up these tyres. That is Mad Riot through on Formula Right. And out of Ascari, Formula Right will come right back out Mad Riot. And then you do have Cinders with some pretty decent straight line speed. That is Podge through on Vicious Vicar into Parabolica. Then Williams has the inside line and Cinders is through, and that is Formula Right going into the pit lane. So it leaves the others fighting. DRS enabled for Vicious Vicar. Podge also got DRS on Mad Riot, but they're not close enough. Mad Riot didn't get DRS. So into Retafilo at turn 1. That is Vincenzo and Theo going at it. The Red Bull up to P4, Theo down to P5, but then you've got Umbra Ghost as well. Down towards Roger at turn 3, and Umbra Ghost trying to sneak up the inside. That was optimistic. And that could have ended in disaster. Well, Jabba will go around at the outside of NDMV. And NDMV in the Aston Martin on them fresh hard tyres. Should start to be the quicker driver soon. And also Nimble Cat on them fresh hard tyres. With 9 laps remaining. So we'll see what happens. The pit stops have been really important. Theo is back through on Vincenzo. And Umbra Ghost in P6. Remember, Umbra had to have a front wing change. He's done really well to just stay in this. And here comes Umbra Ghost on Vincenzo. Down towards Roger. The Red Bull goes later on the brakes. Oh, and he hits Theo. And then he hits Theo again. Vincenzo has tagged the championship contender, and then around the outside goes Umbra Ghost. Theo is down to P6. Oh my goodness me. Formula Right is out in the pit lane. That is Jabba that is through on NDMV. And the Racing Bull through on the Aston Martin, but my goodness, Vincenzo, what was that? And Umbra goes down to P5, Theo down to P6. But the Red Bull driver now has 10 seconds of clear air to try and catch up to his teammate who is in the podiums. So, Hodge and Vicious Vicar are both into the pit lane. Hodge is getting a new front wing. Umbra Ghost all over the back of Theo. And Vincenzo's down to P7. And Umbra Ghost backs out there as Theo comes through, but then hits the back of him. Umbra Ghost has got damage. He pulled out from going under the inside of him and then smashed into the back of him and got damage. So Umbra Ghost will have to pit again. And Vincenzo down to P7. I don't know what's happened there. Has he got damage? Wow. Cheers, Formula Ride. Jack Hart sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Jabba with a 3-second time penalty. Super Skills is into the pit lane finally, and he will go on to a nice set of hards maybe to the end of the Grand Prix, or another set of mediums potentially. It is all going to kick off at the end of this race. That is Podge through. Here comes Doug on Icy, and the Alpine is through on the Aston Martin. And up to P11, Vicious Vicar from Mad Writers coming out of the pit lane, and Kevin Gamer. And what about Umbra Ghost on Theo with that damage? In towards Ascari. Umbra Ghost just cannot turn the Alpine with the damage that he's got. Jabber and NDMV going on it once again. NDMV just locking up. What about Cinders as we go in towards Parabolica? With 8 laps remaining, and then we go in towards turn 2, into turn 2, into tier 2. Jesus. NDMV on Jabber, DRS enabled, gets the move done. What about Podge on Icy? I thought he might have been patient, but Icy backed out to get that DRS. Bulldog and Jack do not need to pit again, but let's have a look at the tyres. So I can't actually see what the tyres are like. That is Umbra Ghost on Theo. This will be really frustrating Theo, as Umbra Ghost has front wing damage. That's how it looks. Oh, and he goes off the track there, Cinders. Vincenzo starting to catch up. Nimblecat keeping it nice and clean. He's in a decent racing position. He knows that Jabber's got a penalty in front. That is Jabber on NDMV again. In towards Ascari, and the Racing Bull back on the Aston Martin. Yeah, beyond Mercedes look really strong here in Monza. What's going on, Gennady? How are we doing? And that is Theo. That is Umbra Ghost into the pits. So Umbra is going to pit to get a new front wing and some fresh tyres. Where does he come out? That is NDMV back through on Jabber down in towards Retafilo. And these two have been going at it for quite a few laps now. That is Vicious Vicar on Icy. He'll get that DRS and he'll pick up the move pretty easily. Icy just picked up a track limit warning down the straight there. Vicious Vicar up to P13 in that Williams. And here comes Doug and Podge. Two well-respected drivers. And Podge will have to go around the outside of the Alpine driver. And Podge moves up to P11 in the Papaya McLaren. Jack Carter is into the pit lane. Jack Carter is into the pit, so he is going for the double stop. So Jack Carter has pitted. He's come out 10 seconds behind his teammate with 6 laps to go. This is a great pit stop for Jack Carter. Jabber now starting to struggle with them rears, and Nimblecat piling on the pressure. Super Skills has a lot fresher hard compounds in P7, so it'll be interesting to see what happens before the end of this race. 7 laps remaining, well, 6.5. And Jack Carter will chase down his own teammate. Nimblecat in P6, but he's got Super Skills on fresh tyres. And then he's got Jabber in front of him on old mediums. Jabber will be struggling a lot on them medium compound tyres. No way Bulldog makes it till the end. Do you not think? Wow. And there goes Nimblecat through on Jabber on them fresher tyres, and the Ferrari driver is now up to P5. And NDMV is the next driver ahead, the man from Vietnam. Jabba does finally pit. Umbra Ghost now up to P7, Cinder's in P8. Two-stop race, it looks that way. Caxel, as soon as the tier 3 race is over, mate, I'll jump straight off so you can jump straight on. So the Williams, who had a great sprint race and looked really strong in this feature race, are in P13 and 14. Nimble Cat will have super skills ready to attack shortly. And NDMV will need to watch out for super skills as well on them fresh hards. Jabba on soft compounds, that's crazy. It probably will make it to the end though, but it'll still be pretty shot. Bulldog in the Mercedes. He'll try and go to the end of the Grand Prix. I think he'll start to look after his tyres a little bit. I think he'll be a little bit cautious. Super skills is finally through on Nimble. Nimble goes around the outside. And that is how you race. Nimble Cat in the Ferrari stays ahead of super skills, but for how long? Both have DRS on NDMV. Jack Carter now only 4 seconds behind Bulldog. That is Jabba, that is through on Podge. And super skills does make it through on Nimble and up to P5 as they both get DRS, chasing down NDMV. And Nimble will be happy with the way this race is going thus far. Jabba through on Podge, who's down to P11. And Podge, this is not great for him. Theo up to P3. And considering Theo had all sorts of problems and started from quite far back, it just goes to show that, you know, the driver quality and the speed that he's got here. And that is Podge coming back on Jabba in towards Retafilo and the Racing Bull and the McLaren wheel to wheel. That is spectacular racing from the pair of them. Kevin Gamer is out. Oh, safety car. Oh my goodness me. Safety car on lap 24. Kevin Gamer is out. This is bad for Jack Carter, who has led this whole Grand Prix. Oh my God. What happens now? Nimblecat has stayed out. Nimblecat has stayed out. So has Umbra Ghost and Cinders. Theo, Super Skills, NDMV have all pitted. Hodge has stayed out. Safety car in this lap. Safety car is in this lap. Wow. There's going to be some drivers that might not be able to catch up here. If I was Jack Carter and Bulldog, I would be going as soon as is physically possible behind this safety car. I would be gone. And I think that's what they'll do. They will not want people to start catching up to them. And people aren't going to catch up to them. Shortest safety car ever. Udi, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that the safety car has only come out for that amount of time. And the two Mercedes can't get going. Now they can. The safety car goes in. And the front three. This is incredible. Nimblecat is into the podiums. 3 seconds clear of Umbra Ghost. Yes, he's on old hard tyres. It's two Mercedes to the Ferrari. Here in Monza, this is phenomenal. We have 1.5 laps to go for the Italian Grand Prix. Could the Tifosi see a Scuderia driver on the podium in Nimblecat, a fan favourite? God, I hope so. Umbra Ghost is catching him though on the mediums. Them 14-lap old hard tyres will be cooking. What about Theo, Super Skills, NDMV, all on them fresh soft compound tyres. Jabba, Vincenzo, Doug and Icy also on fresh softs, but they were not able to catch up to the safety car in time before it went again. Hodge picks up a 3-second time penalty. Bulldog and Jack Carter, the two Mercedes drivers. Will team orders come into play? The two Mercedes are coming down towards Parabolica. Who is going to get it? Remember, DRS isn't enabled till the end. Sorry, till the end of this lap, yeah. So they'll only get it down towards Ascari. That's the only place they'll get the DRS. But Bulldog will use the slipstream. DRS is now enabled. He'll empty the tank. There's no team orders in the Mercedes garage. Bulldog will go around the outside in towards Rettifilo for the race victory on the very final lap here in Monza. It's Mercedes 1-2. But who will be the 1 and who will be the 2? Incredible. So, down curve Grande, down towards Roger. The two Mercedes go fighting here in Monza. Down towards the Lesmo corners at turn 4 and 5. The yellow flag is waving. Umbra Ghost is all over the rear diffuser of Nimblecat. This is where the DRS will kick in. Nimble has a lot more battery than Umbra Ghost. Can he hang on? Bulldog with that rear wing open. Here he comes on Jack Carter. That is Bulldog, the Mercedes driver, that goes into the race lead. Jack Carter is down to P2. And this is incredible. Podge picks up another time penalty. Nimble is holding on. Super Skills is through on Cinders. Umbra Ghost in the Alpine will go around the outside. Nimblecat holds on. Umbra Ghost in the Alpine, but it is Bulldog that will come through. And the Ferrari is just in front, but Bulldog comes through to win here in Monza. Jack Carter takes P2, and Nimble is on the podium. The Tifosi go wild. Nimble in P3. Wow! What a race! Let's go through the final standings. There you have it, a Mercedes 1-2, but it is the Ferrari man here in the home of the Ferrari that takes the podium, Nimblecat in P3. Let's have a look. So with the results of the race, Bulldog takes the race win after Jack Carter leading for the whole Grand Prix. Jack Carter takes P2 and Nimble Cat in P3 on the podium. Umbra Ghost in the Alpine takes P4 and Theo in P5. Super Skills takes P6 and Cinders in P7. NDMV takes P8 and Vicious Vicar in P9. Podge takes P10, Mad Right in P11, Vincenzo in P12, Jabber in P13, Doug in P14, Icy P15, and then Kevin Gamer and Formula Ride both D and F. Driver of the day. I'm actually going to go with Cinders. For Cinders to get a decent result like that, you've got Bulldog who got the race win, who could have got driver of the day as well, and Jack Carter. You've got Nimble who could have got driver of the day, who got on the podium, but Cinders also who finished in P7 from 15th on the grid in the McLaren. Knowing that, you know, he was struggling with pace in qualifying, to get that result is phenomenal. So yeah. Wow. Right, thank you so much, guys. I need to shoot off because they need to set up for Tier 2. I appreciate you all watching. Tier 2 will be live in 19 minutes. Thank you all so much. I appreciate all the support. Well done to all the drivers. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and watched the race. Have a good one. Tune in for Tier 2, and I will see you in that one. I'll be racing in it.